Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 381. It is a very unique day. It is going to be my very first full page image using a wet medium. Today's wet medium is, let's get a nice one. We are going to be using the Albrecht Durer Faber-Castell. I own the 60 set. This is officially my first nice set of watercolor, or first nice set of colored pencils, period. I bought them to replace watercolors when I went on the road in 2018. It wasn't long after that I discovered the nature tutorials of drawing animals. And that's when I bought the full set of polychromos. So I figured, coming from the world of watercolor painting, where I would have some tubes. I maybe owned a 24 set of tubed watercolor, and I would put them on a palette and use them and then rinse them off. So I thought 60 was a huge number of pencils. So this is one of the colors I'm using. They are a hex shape versus polys, which are round. They have silver, which is not hard to read. It's nowhere near as difficult as the gold that's on the polychromos. And these have a little, this is a paintbrush, signifying that they are water-based. So my official first full image ever using these. I don't even know if I did any animal portraits with them. I did a couple of sample things way back in the past. I don't even have those anymore. So I don't have those. And I have picked some colors. I am going to go through and draw some pigment in the whole. I'm going to do the whole image first. I've got 4 colors for the daffodils, and then I will be doing some spot fixing. And we're just going to see. I'm going to be loose and fast and not overthink it, because it is my first time. I do not want to get paralyzed by the analysis of the details. So my lightest yellow is Naples Yellow 185, going on to dark cadmium yellow 108. I think I've mentioned in the past that I have a few of these both in the polys and in the Albrecht Durer that I believe these must be older. They're all caps with a serif font, where the new lettering, because I've had newer pencils that do have the upper lowercase in the sans serif font. Notice that the way the new lettering, so we had all caps. Now we have the word Naples is in caps, but the yellow is not. So that is the naming convention that is used. So we have 185, 108, dark cadmium orange 115, and burnt ochre 167. That is going to be the daffodil colors. And I am going to be skimming through, just very quickly adding color. The Bristol vellum copy paper, or not copy paper, the Bristol vellum 67 pound exact index, which is my colored pencil coloring paper, is terrible, by the way. So I know I love those, that particular paper. I talk about it a lot and love it, but it is not good for water mediums. I have a whole bunch of watercolor pads that are way more appropriate. But today we are going to be, of course, coloring in small Victories, doing the daily color. And we'll just see how it goes. So it is actually late at night here again. I had woke up this morning fully intended on continuing. I will have to be moving back and forth somewhat because this is a full page image. I have 4 of these floral images. I'm calling them floral wreaths. 4 of them in a row. This is the only one that is going to be a wet application. The only other colored pencils that I have that are wet is India ink, Derwent Inktense. And then I do have, for backgrounds, Neocolor 2s. I think I have a 30 set of those. And I do not, and I have Holt's Distress colored pencil watercolors. They're a woodless watercolor pencil. I do not feel they're like a crafting quality, and I can feel the difference. I have done some cards with them. They make wonderful backgrounds. Neo 2s I have not done a lot with, and I suspect that they are better than the Distress inks. Have to get this side. And this is still working with the lightest Naples yellow. I have no idea if I am putting down an adequate layer of the lightest color, having never done it before, and I did not do a sample page. I gave it a thought. Dark cadmium yellow is going to be my darker yellow in toward the center of these petals. I have 3 tones for the petals. I even have like a shadowy color of yellow. That is the ochre, right? Yeah, burnt ochre that we will get to. Oh, and you can't see, I will keep up here. I am just doing straight lines. I'm doing very similar, but a little bit sketchier than I would normally do, because I know I'm going to wet this and move it around. So anyhow, today was coloring day. We are finished up a really fun winter image. And everyone went away happy with their completed project. I am doing a raffle at the end of the season. Our season is pretty much November through March, and a couple of the ladies will be returning home to their summer homes. So at the end of that time, I will be doing a drawing for some supplies for them. I am now moving on to my shadow color, which is burnt ochre. Oh, and I forgot my, let's move here. This bottom beautiful big daffodil needs some shadow color. Well, a darker yellow color, and then I'll do the shadow. So we're going to have a drawing for some art supplies. There will be 3 drawings, and I have, so this is like if you're interested in getting a group together to do some coloring, you could put together a few prizes. I have found that it does encourage people to come back. So they have 3 ways they can get tickets for the raffle. And that is by attending, first off, so that's an easy one. Second, if you refer a friend and the friend comes along, it doesn't even have to be to the same class, because I have a daytime on Tuesday and a late afternoon on Wednesday for people who work. And then, all right, so I have 2 color tones down right now. And then for every project completed, whether you bring me a page you've colored to share with the group, or you color it in class and we finish it, which today's project spanned 2 classes, everyone gets a ticket who finishes the project. And then at the end of the season, I have, like I said, some extra supplies that I have accumulated. I have not determined which ones they will be, and there will be a grand prize and then 2 extra prizes for a total of 3 prizes. All right, so I have my shadow color now, finally, burnt ochre. I'm going to focus that way in the deep crannies and behind the leaves. If I pick a light source, which I haven't picked a light source, let's say the light source is more up above here, somewhere in the middle, that means my shadow would be deeper underneath. So let's just do that for the day. Hopefully I will remember that that is my decision for the shadows. We do have some veining identified with these little dotted lines, and tulips do have that veining, so I can make it a little darker to emphasize it. So I am definitely finding that that is a fun way to get people to participate, and I even do like reviews of people's supplies. If they have supplies they bought years ago and they have no idea. Everybody uses my supplied praying pencils. They do bring their own. Typically those who own pencils would bring them, and I am more than happy to have them use them in the class for the project, but it goes pretty fast. If everybody uses the prayings, it seems to go really well. But if you bring something that you maybe own, a supply that you've never used, that you're curious about, I am more than happy to review supplies. I just did a review for Kathy, who left a set of 24 Faber-Castell Grip Eco pencils, and I colored with them on three different kinds of paper. And then kind of offered up my review, and then I published it as a video, and then also reviewed in class my findings, and we got to analyze the close-up of the images that I colored, and then I let her take those with her. She was offering to have me keep those pencils, and I said, let me do a review first, because I really think, knowing the brand, that they should be a great pencil for you to keep. She does own the prayings, and I told her in the end, I think these are good pencils, and I think you can keep them and supplement them, use them with your prayings, giving you some more color choices. So that was fun to do. The other thing that you can do is, for hosting some sort of a coloring group in your community or in your home, you can do because I've done card crafting and paper crafting for years and have participated and hosted many different retreats. You can do some possible, like, let's see, backgrounds. You can do stickles and glitter pens, a bunch of different tools, not just the pencils. Put them in a hat with them named, or do dice, and then have somebody draw what you're going to work on today as, like, let's say we're going to do a little accent bling. Like today we used stickles on the snow for our finishing up our winter image. So I'm going to a retreat in March, a crafting retreat, and we already have picked 2 to 4 hour long projects, because this is not just like my class is just a 2-hour class, where the retreat is I'm going to be there. I think we're going to have like 3 days of retreat type activities in the midst of going to a conference for a card crafting event that's in itself 4 days, or maybe 2.5. But there's the day going there and the day leaving that are going to be many hours. So there we go. We've got the daffodils pretty well ready to go. I'm going to move on. My goal is to do this quickly today. I'm kind of having fun with the idea of quick. I'd like to finish this completely, because I now have like a backlog of 2 projects that use the Languo gel pens, and I've colored them with you partway. And I don't want to have a backlog of any more projects than those 2, because at the end of the month, so my month is really tight. I have family coming, in fact. She's here till the end of the month. So I won't have a lot of free time to get those projects done. I'll have a little bit of time, but I don't want to take on any more. The next we have is a whole full light to dark range of pinks to burgundy or magenta to work with, and here they are. I'm going to just use them in a variety of places. We go from 129 Pink Madder Lake, Rose Carmine, 124, 125 Pink Middle Purple Pink Magenta 133, and Red Violet 194. So one of the things I've been struggling with is some focus issue with my camera, and so I'm trying to go quickly, and I'm already just going to pre-apologize in the off chance that I'm starting with the lightest pink, doing some light pink flowers. I'm not zoomed in as much as I would normally be, because I want you to see most of this wreath. And then again, I have had this weird focusing, and I might have fixed it yesterday. I am hoping I have. I'm going to add a little bit of pink here and there on this flower. I have 3 different greens picked out, and adding some multiple color tones. I'm going to have to reach across to work on this side. So yeah, no more backlog of projects to be finished. I must finish everything else. And I also have my, did the entire rest of the book, which I'm down to the teens, like maybe 16, 17 pages left. So I don't want to go slow enough to delay finishing, and I'm going to try really hard to get close to my date of finishing by the end of March. And depending on if I miss any time or get bogged down, I say that because my retreat, my crafting retreat, is 8 days in March, the 10th through the 18th, and I'm going to pre-record so I don't miss any time because I don't want to slow up the completion. I'm moving on to this Rose Carmine 124, which is just a darker pink, and I'm just scattering around this darker pink here and there. One thing I see I forgot to do, and I don't think I did it on my copy sample, I am picking up a yellow. We'll see if this is a mistake, adding the yellow, the little tiny bit of yellow in between all these. I haven't put any pink down here in the bottom, and I don't need them all to match, so we're going to not do the light pink. I'm doing some of this Rose Carmine pink. Yes, so if I stick to my schedule, I'm going to be very close to finishing. It might be the first week in April. The very first day that I colored in this book last year was March 15th, and that was the front inside cover. Going one darker, middle purple pink. And going in heavier pressure here to start getting some of these centers colored. It's going to be very hard to even say I'm going to do these dots of color, so I may have to come back in and put some sort of maybe a gel pen, a Languo gel pen color for yellow or orange. I should be able to do that. So the next couple of months is going to be quite the whirlwind as I strive to hit my goal of finishing this darn book. The first book I ever colored in, and the first book that I have finished. And that will be so exciting. And you guys were part of the journey from the beginning. That was also kind of cool. That I can say that those of you who found me early on have watched the channel grow and my content grow and adjust as I kind of got into my stride, figured out a routine and what works for me. You can see I'm being very sloppy here. I hope I moved this toward the top here to show you. I am going darker. I am now up to the magenta 133. It's been quite cold here this week, and we have another cold front coming. It is not often that I sleep in a long t-shirt in Florida. That's kind of how cold it is at night. I think it was 51 at one point in the middle of the night. And then it's weird here. It will warm up in the middle of the night. In Washington State, it doesn't warm up in the middle of the night like here. Like from midnight on, it starts warming up here sometimes. So it's quite crazy. Kind of looks messy to me, but I'm gonna go with it. And I'm adding this darker, I'm not quite to the darkest color, but I am putting little bits of the dark color various places, and I might even hold off. This is the darkest red violet. I might pull it aside and use it to go in and do some shadowing. Oh, and I don't need the yellow. So I'm putting all of these away back on the Lazy Susan here. I have one blue, just one, to do my bellflowers as I like to do them. Phthalo Blue 110. And I think you can see all of the bellflowers here in the middle. I'm only doing the top in anticipation that I will pull the color down with the wet so that the ends of the bells are light colored. Yeah, there's 3 sets of blue bellflowers. I could do them lavender, but I thought that with the color palette that I've got here, the blue would pop a little bit more. Okay, and then we have greens. Again, I have actually 5 greens. I have kind of a light, medium, and dark basic leaf green. Oh, in fact, here's the middle color. Another all caps font right here, leaf green 112. The lightest is 171. The darkest is pine green 267. And I'm going to just be moving around with this shade of green, the light, medium, and dark. A couple of the leaves might just be medium and dark. The big tulip leaves are going to be all, well, 2 colors at least, maybe a little bit of the dark. And these actually are tenderly, that's kind of a fuchsia. I can't remember what those are called. I've had those in the past. These flowers here are going to be olive, and then these long skinny leaves are going to have the pine color. We'll see if I'm, oh, and that one wasn't supposed to be that, but no one's gonna care. Middle green, I've got these little pom-poms. They are pink, and then this is a little green bud. And then I have another tulip over here. Middle green. It's pretty vibrant. These little pom-poms right here are going to be just, I'm going to leave them white. One more tulip leaf formation up at the top here. Oh yeah, those are this color, the bright green called leaf green. This small leafy sprig, as I call it, is on both sides, and it is going to be leaf green. I have these leaves, which are sort of the same as these dark leaves that are called pine green. So I'm going to go ahead up here and do that in pine green. Okay, I've got 2 olive greens. I believe earth green yellowish, 168. And I think I don't want, let me see, I'm going to have to test. I have olive green. I did a sample, and I believe one of them I did not like. Nope, that is the one I like. The one I did not like is olive green, which is 173, and this is chromium green opaque, 174. So I'm going to have these eucalyptusy looking leaves be somewhat olive. These thin fern looking leaves, it might be a fern, it's also this color. And then the big leaves here, I'm going to just sketch them in with the dark as a shadow by the flower. And this is earth green yellowish. I hope this is all staying in focus, you guys. Okay, down at the bottom, I have the same leaf formation. I am somewhat following along with the artist's lines, very roughly. When I get to doing water, I have a very small brush, and I want, so I have this here, but it matches these middle green, so I'm grabbing the middle green to match. It's called leaf green. Had an alarm go off, and I hope I was coloring that whole time. I have no idea if I was coloring that whole time, but I really hope I was. I was filling in this sprig with leaf green. And then I have little tiny leaves with the pink. Those are going to be olive. I will be so sad, you guys, if I colored all of this in and somehow wasn't filming it. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to trust that I was filming. Okay, up here at the very top, I need to pull it down so you can see it. There's these little guys, and I think I do not want them to be olive because we've got all these 4 olive leaves. So I'm going to do the lightest green It is light green. I don't remember if these are, yeah, no, these are olive green. So I did that one wrong, and I'm okay with that. It does not have to be perfect. I am going to switch, though. Those three can be light, because down here, I want olive. And I think I now have all of the color in. So I have a very small brush. The greens are going to sit off above me. Yellows are to the side. Pink, purple, and blue are up here. So I've got kind of easy access because I will need them all. I am going to start on the far side. I have two brushes. They're both very small. I am going to start with the smallest of them. I may go with this little bit bigger one for the larger flowers, but I'm going to see. I have a paper towel that I can wipe off if I'm too wet, and then I have a small scrap that I can dab away anything, because you can pick up some of the color if you want it to be lighter. I have a little water mechanism here that fills up. It's almost like a cat water, which I'm looking at those for Lucky, that when it has if I get it dirty, I use it for like my metallic watercolor. And when I get mica in this water, so it's all dirty and contaminated, I push a button and it goes away. And then there's a reservoir of fresh water. And that's the part that like a cat's water thing is like. So I am going to start and just see what kind of action we get. I am seeing some nice blending here on those two leaves. I don't mind co-mingling my greens. Like I have some of this bright green on, but it is not altering this darker olive color tone. If I want to be good, I will be only coloring the greens first. So I'll go around the whole image, wetting each of the green areas. Now, what I also should do is not come on this side. I should move around so that my left palm is not touching wet, already activated. It would just happen accidentally. I'm going to try to keep my hand resting on the clipboard that you can see a little bit of. And I hope again that you're still seeing everything. I should be brushing from the wet from the dark into the light so I don't contaminate the light. And then I can come across here, sorry about that, and dab away any extra water. I am actually going to unplug the camera now. I hope that it is charged enough because I need to get my right hand has a job now. So I'm going to keep it out of the way, but have it at the ready. I tend to use dabbing a lot with watercolor. And if I want the ends of this to be lightened up, this is water. You can reactivate the watercolor with more water. So I am wanting the end here to be lighter. So I've picked some of that pigment up, and there's what it looks like on my paper towel. Now moving into this dark green, it is the pine green. Now I have this very skinny stem. It looks like I forgot the bright green on one of those leaves, but that's okay. I am really big on not over watering. That is why I use my own manual brush versus a water brush. I just don't feel like I have good control of a water brush. They tend to be too watery for me. Again, all of the colors other than green are going to be sitting there until I come back, and I'll probably do the yellow first. These brushes were bought at Walmart. They are Langnickel. Nope, Crafter's Choice. Oh yeah, Royal and Langnickel. Crafter's Choice. It's like a 12 pack. And then I bought a 4-pack also from Walmart of very fine, I think they're in the same bag with this set. A very fine, like a model painting set. Very tiny. All right, so we're doing okay. Oh, up here. I need to wet this. So tiny. All right, going down. My green pencils are sort of in the way. All right, so I'm on the olive green, the big leaves. I have, you'll see my, so I'm working from the light down into the dark. Some people would go from the dark like this and move out to the light, and then you would dab away. If it's too dark out there, you just dab it till it was the color you wanted. And I am also focusing on getting rid of the toothy look as I go. Again, mostly dabbing. There's no little ovals in the world of watercolor. It's dabs or lines, for me anyway. All right, the greens are coming along nicely. I am sorry for the quiet. I am focusing. So when I had an alarm go off, so it stopped filming. That's why I'm saying I hope it was filming all this time. I am done with all of the green, everybody. And now I'm going to start up here and work around. I will do the yellow first. Although if I do that, I'm going to start over here, and I do want to keep the darker color here. So I'm going to just dab it, keeping it here in the shaded, nestled, shadowy bits of the daffodil. Now I just cleaned it off, and I'm going to go out here to the light yellow. I'm going to leave that little bit of white. I really like it. Watercolor lends itself to having some white areas. The little tiny flowers, I'm not going to like worry about that kind of detail, but I like the look of that flower. And then this orange, I also want a little bit of white. Gonna clean it off. Gonna come over here, and I will do the same thing. So I'm dabbing. Oh, that's a little bit too much. Very wet. Now, I can come in and do more layers if I want, But I also don't want to overwork this. It is my first one. I'm not going to be too picky. Just kind of playing around a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to clean that off because that was the darker yellow. Now I'm out here and I want to keep the ends light colored. I'm leaving a little bit of white, not a lot. I didn't see a big need for dabbing the paper towel, maybe right here. All right, moving up to these two. Okay, I'm going to clean all that dark off. And now start at the top here with the light. That's the Naples yellow. If I see any harsh brush lines, I'm dabbing them till they disappear. Okay, moving to the dark of this last daffodil. I hope I haven't called these tulips. They are daffodils. I didn't. I'm moving some dark from here into the middle of this one because I don't see where I added dark. I didn't even add any dark in the middle of that one. Okay, I'm going to clean off my brush and wet the outer petals, which is the Naples yellow. Trying hard to find just a little bit of white, a little hint of a highlight without thinking too hard about it. All right, yellow's done. Now I'm going to move on to pink. And I'm going to start up here and move around the circle. These are a mix of all four. I don't think I used the fifth darkest purpley pink. And I don't want to get the whole thing dark. I went over the edge on that one. I'm not going to overthink that. These little stamen circles, I will use some sort of a gel pen or maybe a clear shimmer, just something to add a little pop to the page. And I'm dabbing the dark. Continuing, I have not done the light, but I don't want to go too far because I need to come back and blend. I'm cleaning off the dark. And now I'm coming down, grabbing a little bit of the pink, wetting the pink and blending the two together with dabs. Softening any harsh lines. Trying to work fast. I have to go back and work on the little drop fuchsia thingies as well. Hopefully we haven't got really blurry with my hands being all over the place. All right, now I want to come back and soften that dark line. I have some pink here. Dab, dab, dab. Oh, that isn't wet right there. That's nice. I like that color. Cute. Okay, moving over. I'm sorry, our angles are getting kind of messed up. I have to try to keep my hand somewhat comfortable. Dabbing very carefully. And then pulling the dark down. I am going to go ahead with these little 5-petal pink, dab some wet on them, trying not to contaminate the yellow. What I could do too is pick up, oh look, I'm keeping the yellow. That's nice. Oops. And you guys, I hope you saw all that. Okay, now I'm going to work on the centers of these, dabbing all the way around. Shadow under here. Okay, cleaning off my brush. Now we're working with the lights. Softening any lines that formed if things are half dry. And this is a little different than working with actual watercolor paper. So you don't have all of the same properties as the watercolor paper. So I'm just doing the best I can. Trying to get some white on this one, some detail. All right, I'm going to leave that one alone. Almost done. I have no idea what, because it restarted a new time, my timer is off. I do not know. That was awfully bright. Okay, my last bit to do is the blue. As much as I would love to do a background on here, I don't think I have time to do it. So we'll see if perhaps once I've completed the book, there are a lot of pages at the very beginning I did no backgrounds to. And I might have some little bit of a follow-up after the book is complete, where I go through and do some backgrounds. And these would really be great with backgrounds, especially this one since it's already a wet medium. So for me to come in and do some sort of a sky background would be a lot of fun. Dabbing as I soften this blue, which is pretty vibrant, and trying to fade it out. I am cleaning off the blue, coming back in to try to get it lightened up along the bottom. And then up at the top here, we'll see how blurry that was. Dab, dab, dab. So there's a lot more detail that I could do, but I am very happy with how it has come out thus far for my very first time. There are some things that I could do. I'm feeling how wet it is. So for instance, if I wanted to come in here with, but I'm not going to do a lot, burnt ochre 187. I hope you guys can see the shading that I'm doing. Yeah, so I like that. That's a lot of fun. So there's this flower darkened. And it's the only one I will darken for now, so you can see the difference. And then these two that you can see up higher are not darkened. Let's now take told you I wasn't using the darkest red violet 194. And so I'm going to do just a little bit of the dark here and there. I hope I'm not really over time with you guys. Adding in some darks here. And leaving the rest of them lighter. These are just my reference for, my very first time. Making note that this bottom corner is all like darkened. Grabbing the dark greens. There are two of them. There's the olive dark. And then I have not put this pine green at all down here. So, and this is all dry. I am not going to wet it. The olive green, here is the darkest. Oh, isn't that nice? I haven't done this in years, you guys. Years and years. Okay, the bellflowers. Just a little bit. I think I'm going to call it. So that is all I have for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing me work with wet. That has been quite fun. Big blast from my past. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing. Tomorrow, or when I do the next episode, it is going to be this particular wreath image, and it will be done with, do I have my list here? I might not have my list handy. I do not have my list handy. I used the clipboard today for class and set aside my colors, so it will be a surprise. It will be fun, and it will not be a wet medium. I hope to see you all there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you then.